So we're gonna show you how to get a puppy used to his harness so that it's not something that he hates. And so it's something that he doesn't have a problem with because we want him to wear it all the time. So first we're gonna start with a puppy that is well fed and well exercised and ready for a nap. So you can see he doesn't have a whole lot of energy. He's not in crazy mode, you know, he's not in play mode. He's just ready to curl up and take a bit of a nap, maybe chew on something for a little bit and not full of energy, right? He's had some healthy playtime. So that's when we're going to start by putting a harness on him. So we can start by giving him a little toy. That is supposed to be a slipper that now doesn't squeak for some reason. You like that? And I will let him do that while I find a harness because I'm prepared. There's not a girl harness. You don't want a girl harness. You want a pretty boy harness because you're a boy. What's in there? So we've also got a yummy treat with us. We have some bacon pieces all crunched up. So he's not super hungry because he ate a little while ago. He had his dinner. So he's not hungry for a meal, but a snack would be very welcome. And get the harness. I like the mesh harnesses because they're nice and breathable and they don't tangle as much. I mean, I also use the regular canvas ones. And so I like this harness in particular because it's a step-in, so it's really simple to put on. And then it has this Velcro closure, but it also has a buckle closure. And it has loops that you connect your leash to. So you have 3 layers of protection, and so you know you're nice and secure. And then if the puppy decides to start pulling and you need a front clip harness to slow the puppy down if he's too excited, you can clip the leash to here. But that's not usually a problem with my puppies. They usually aren't really pullers on the leash. Maybe when they get a little bit older, if they're really need exercise and maybe haven't gone on a walk in a while. But otherwise, it's not usually a super big problem for them. So usually a back clip harness is totally fine. So now that he's kind of involved in making noise, we're going to put the harness on him. But we're going to start by putting it down with all this stuff. Since he's a puppy, I have introduced these toys to him for the first time today. So you can introduce new toys to your puppy as often and as many as you want, but I recommend that you pick them up and put them away as soon as he's done and only give pup toys like by hand, you know, at a time. Like lots of introductions of new objects is really good for them. So don't be afraid to throw as many toys at them to explore as you want. You can't spoil them, so long as they know where and when they're playing. So I do like to have a specific area where you designate and then you give them their toys. And then when they're done playing, you put their toys away so that they don't start thinking that anything they find on the ground belongs to them and can be chewed. Now we've gotten, let him mouth it a little bit, let him look at it. He's not like, oh my gosh, what is this? So now we're going to just step him into it. And just pay attention to how he reacts. He's like, oh, I'm gonna turn around and bite this. And we're gonna snap it. And then take it off. That's just because the Velcro can be scary sounding. We can clip it in front of him too if you want to practice the Velcro in front of him so that the sound doesn't freak him out when it's behind his head. What is that? And then you have your treats so that every now and then you give him something so he's like, oh, this is still fun. This is delightful. This is a fun experience. It's not a scary experience. And that's one of the reasons why I put crinkly toys down because you can see his reaction is a little bit like, I don't know about this, but we want him to get used to toy sounds and like it's a new toy, so because the whole world is new to them, and this is a whole different object to him. He doesn't realize that they're all toys yet. He doesn't understand that category. Come here. And so now I'm going to try clipping the buckle in front of him. Look at that. How does that work? And I do want to reward him when he comes over when I call him. So it's good to give him a treat if he comes to you when you call him as often as possible. And now I'm going to, what is that? Now what do you think? You think we can walk into it? We can step in? Where are you going? You're going to escape now already? And just give him something yummy so that he's not like, hey, what is this happening to me? And now we just let him play with it on for a little bit. Expect the puppy to chew at it and hear the noises and not like it. Come on. You can see what he's doing. What's the matter? You want it off? Do you want it off, babies? And just let him step out of it and include it with his things. Come here. Your nose. You want to take a nap? He's like, you're so sweet. Okay. Let's try it again. If you have an older dog or a rescue dog that has not been harness or leash trained, you're going to need it to be on them to take them outside to potty unless you have an enclosed space. So you might have to do it a little faster, in which case I recommend doing it at mealtime and just constantly feeding them the whole time so that they're less nervous about it. Ooh, you're okay. You're okay. And, you want that? And if it's at all possible, let him snuggle up and take a nap with it on. It's just like, no. It's so funny. Look at your reaction to it. Why are you so cute? Why are you so cute? Huh? So, no big deal. No biggie. I would let him take a nap in it. Maybe just until he falls asleep and then take it off of him and then let him go back to sleep. I just kind of feel like it might be uncomfortable to sleep in. Like what if it, you know, I don't know. I just don't want him to be uncomfortable. Then it's okay to let them snooze in it. Collars always have to have a breakaway buckle unless you are supervising them while wearing them, because they can get caught on things and it can be a very serious safety hazard. But harnesses aren't, you know, it's just a jacket, so. And just like that, he doesn't seem to be too bothered. It was a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. Every now and then he will turn around and try to chew it. He may even, some puppies will sometimes cry a little bit or try to rub it off on furniture or the floor. And if they're just stressed like that, take it off, because you never know if it's pinching them or if it is pulling their hair somewhere. You know, don't assume that him being stressed out is a proper response. A little bit weirded out by it, but not stressed out. Crying or any kind of frantic behavior, trying to get it off, you know, spinning around, trying to bite at it, stuff like that. That's just too much stress. Just skip, take it off of them, give them a reward, and then you can just practice putting it on, even if you're just putting them, stepping into it and taking it away and giving them food. And do that at mealtime. So at breakfast time, I would, you know, just put it near them depending on how reactive they are to it. You can just set it next to them. You can rub it all over them, and then give them a treat, right? You want to be in my lap, I know. As far as a leash goes, it's going to be sort of the same thing, same sort of experience. But I wouldn't do it all on the same day just because it's a lot going on with a new puppy. And when you get a new puppy home, you really want to expose them to the harness and the leash right away. It would be better if the puppy had had a chance to get exposed to a collar and a harness or a leash while he was still with his siblings. So that is always a plus if the breeder or the rescue or the foster where you're getting your puppy will allow the puppies to experiment with different articles on their body, because they feel a little safer when they're in their littermate group, and they'll all kind of chew on each other and they won't mind it. And of course, the earlier they get exposed to things, the less strange it is for them. And so with the leash, you're just going to clip it on. And he's already like, what are you doing? He didn't like it, so I'm gonna let him smell it. It's making noise and stuff, and that's probably what's really weird for him. Again, I wouldn't do it the first time. The first time I would use the harness when he's sleepy. The second time I would put the harness on when he is ready to play. Puppies will play hard for like a half an hour to an hour, and then they zonk right out. So when you've got him hyped up and he's happy and he's got his playtime hour, give him some toys, play with him, and then take the leash and bait him with it like it's a little rope toy. You kind of shake it like this in front of him so that it moves quickly and is exciting, and let him chase it and let him bite it and let him mouth at it. And then after a little while, you can clip it to him. See, just make rattling noise and let him drag it around a bit. He's thinking about it. Can you see his face? Are you thinking about it? You're so cute. What do you think? Okay, coming back to me because he doesn't like it and he's a little bit nervous, and I'm going to reward him coming to me for help by taking the leash off of him. I want him to know that if he comes over to me and he says, hey mom, I don't like this, that I am going to relieve his problem for him as much as possible. That way he doesn't feel like he needs to relieve the problem for himself. Now that wasn't super stressful or crazy for him. Obviously, you know, you could see that. He just was like, okay, I'm not sure about this. Because of this Velcro, you can tell he's not a super fan of the Velcro. I would probably Velcro and unVelcro a bunch of times when he was feeling playful, not when he was sleepy. When he's feeling playful next, I'd probably Velcro, unVelcro a bunch behind his head and just feed him and play with him, and then attach the leash to him and just let him drag the leash around while he's playing for, 5 to 10 minutes. You do need to make sure that he doesn't catch the leash on anything and hurt himself. So when he's dragging the leash around, that's my hair. When he is dragging the leash around, you want to make sure that he is safe. So just pay attention to him. And then after dragging the leash around for a little while, see if you can be really energetic and get him to like it. You know, jump around, talk in a really high-pitched voice, jump side to side, run backwards away from him a few steps and let him chase you, and get him to walk around and run around with the leash dragging without it bothering him. And then take it off of him. You know, don't make him to the point where he's upset. If he gets upset, then you gotta take it off. And you wanna try to stop him from getting upset. Like, he wasn't upset there, he was just a little bit like, not sure what was going on and feeling a little bit anxious, you know, feeling a little bit stressed out, but that's not the same thing as like really being afraid of something and panicking. So, after you let him drag the leash around, you try picking up the end of the leash and you try running around and playing with him while holding the leash. And that's always a little more tricky because as soon as they try to go in a different direction from the leash, they generally get pretty annoyed that their freedom is being restricted. And so the best thing that you can do is talk to them real sweetly and run away from them backwards while facing them, and just keep talking to them while putting some gentle pressure on the leash so that they think it's fun as much as possible. And all you have to do that is for 1 or 2 training sessions or 1 or 2 play days, and they will have just gotten over it and they'll be okay with the leash. And then you can start going outside on walks, right? With leash. And since you generally don't want to take your puppy on a big walk until about a week after his final round of vaccinations, which is usually around 13 weeks of age, excuse you. I like your hair. It's so, I know. No, do you want some water? You're probably thirsty after all that bacon. Please tell me I didn't accidentally tip the bacon over in here. Go there. You want a piece of bacon? Of course you do. That is so good. Good boy. Good boy. What a good boy you are. You're such a good boy. Yes, you are. And that's how you do it. Since you generally don't take the puppy out for a real walk until about a week after their final vaccination date, their final vaccination is typically around 12 weeks of age, and you want to wait 1 week so that the vaccination is fully working and has fully developed immunity in their body. So you will be around 13 weeks of age, and generally speaking, people get their puppies somewhere between 6 to 10 weeks of age, which is really not good to take them super young. So 8 to 10 is generally the way to go, if possible. But if you get a rescue, sometimes you get what you get. So, you know, sometimes you get them earlier. But either way, it gives you a couple of weeks before they're old enough to go on walks to practice dragging the leash around the house and putting it on. So that way you can do things really slowly and you don't have any rush, because otherwise they will flip around on the end of the leash like a sport fish. It's just a lot better to make the whole experience great. And that way they, you know, think that walking is fun. Because the first walk can be a little bit scary. I mean, it's really out there in the big wide world, and, you know, they're just a little tiny thing. And you want them to be excited and enjoy it and get all their senses stimulated and their exercise out so that they are quieter and more relaxed at home. Right? What? Okay, I'm sorry. Did I stop petting you? He was bossy. Is he being bossy with me? Do you want me to pet you? Should I stop? Okay. You just stare at me. Hi. What you doing? What are you doing? Oh, my glasses, huh? Oh my goodness, I love you. So cute. So that's it. Can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Little white toes. All right. You'll have a puppy walking in no time. Well, on a leash. They should already be able to walk. Right? Let's go take a nap.